Welcome back to Sunrise Today. We're keeping our focus on this report, this joint report, and we've got Mr. Ikeji, a legal practitioner, joining us to shed some light or speak about this. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you, Chamberlain, for having me.
You know, that report, surprising to a lot of people, some shocking, but if you, that's the caption of the title of that report, Bribery, Public Experience and Response. And look at that, 400 billion naira paid as bribe yearly. No. And then that figure, they say, is equivalent to 39% of the combined federal and state education budget in 2016. This is happening at the time where ASU is on strike. We're trying to see what do we do about education, and this kind of money is going that way. And then the average sum paid in cash is said to be approximately between 5,300 naira. But this report, what really gets one wondering is, they said it was conducted between June 2015 and May 2016, and that is in the life of this government. So you would have thought that when the government came in May, you thought that about corruption, they talked about the body language, how everybody sat up. But then this report comes in. How seriously should we take this?
I think we should take it seriously. A lot of us out there, we've been very vocal in saying that this present government is fighting the symptoms of corruption. They are not providing solutions to corruption. I've always given the analogy that when you see rats in your home, in your house, and there is fish in the kitchen, and they come for the fish, and you run around and you kill all the rats, but you still leave the fish open, and you still leave an entrance source from outside into your home that rats can come in through. You've not actually solved the problem. The rats will continue to come in, and they will continue to go for the fish. So what solutions are available in that analogy simply is to block the entrance source into the house, to stop rats from coming in, and cover the fish in such a way that the aroma would not be too attractive.
So when you say this, you just remind me of the TSA.
Yes.
That is what it has done. That's what the TSA. You just explained what the TSA is. So how comes, despite the TSA, you still have 400 billion naira?
Corrupted.
The
corruption, the real corruption is in process, it's in procedure. How are contracts awarded in Nigeria today? Would you have a file on the table of a civil servant and you expect, or you will happily go home in expectation that that file will be treated normally without your needing to give anything to get it pushed?
How do we stop that?
It's in culture. It's a culture. People know what is happening. Policemen, for example, go out there in the streets. They collect money from drivers and people on the streets.
So it cannot be stopped.
It can be stopped, except you start from the top. Let me correct one impression, just as a reminder. I just listened to Mr. Obla speaking from Abuja, and he said that the judiciary is number 2 in the ranking of this Nigerian Bureau of Statistics and the UNODC report. No, the judiciary is not number 2. Judiciary is number 3. The real problem, the real source of this major corruption is the police and prosecutors. Number 1 is police. The number 2 are the prosecutors. Then the number 3 are the magistrates and the judges. So the problem really lies with the enforcement and investigative and prosecutorial agencies, and these are executive arms. That is where the problem lies.
So this situation is this situation is not a ghost situation.
Absolutely.
We can actually track this kind of corruption, even at desk levels, and then people who are culpable. How, for instance, if I'm a government official and I'm working at the front desk, how do I fear that I'll be caught?
You see, everybody knows what goes on there, from the permanent secretary up there down to the cleaner. It's a culture. It's a culture. There is no allegiance to the country. There is no allegiance to the fact that this work that I am working belongs to me. It's let's all go there and grab. We have to create a structural situation in Nigeria such that people will take ownership of processes in the country. People are not taking ownership because it belongs to nobody.
What will be the biggest challenge for the newly sworn-in permanent secretaries by the acting president and the 2 ministers?
The biggest challenge is for them to be able to withstand any external pressure and for them to create fundamental changes, because the real corruption lies in that bureaucracy. The permanent secretaries today are sitting on the very, very seats of corruption. They are the ones supervising corruption in Nigeria today. If the permanent secretaries or the civil service are not corrupt, there is no way the ministers or the commissioners or government officials can be corrupt. That you are inflating contracts, it passes through the table of the bureaucracy. It doesn't start from the table of the minister or the table of the commissioner or the table of the head of the extra-ministerial agency. So there has to be a completely fundamental reorientation of the mind. And how do you do this? You have to let Nigerians know that they have a stake in the country. You don't let people know that they have a stake in the country when appointments are made according to nepotic considerations, according to cronyism considerations. Appointments and processes must be done according to merit. And we have to create a situation where people who, for example, if you are sitting for an exam and you score higher than someone, that person you scored higher than should not be the first person to get admission before you. And when you come out with good grades, you should be able to get a job before people who did not come out with good grades as you have done. These are things people see. People see situations where their own words are brilliant, their own words are better, but the people that are not better are given appointments or are rewarded first and above those that are better. So there has to be a different reward system, a different structural system, a different reorientation, and to get people to deliberately show allegiance to the country called Nigeria. It is lacking today.
Do you think that, for instance, Mr. Obla did mention that we should be content with what we have, comparing the days past in the 70s, 80s to what we currently have now, and making mention about the minimum wage, to be specific, saying that there isn't enough resources in this country to support the kind of wages that we would have wanted. What do you think about that statement?
You see, to say that people should be content with what they have is, as you talk to me, so also you should act. If as a politician I see you swimming in millions of naira, swimming in ostentatious wealth, and I am working somewhere and I can't even look into your face to compete with you in terms of our expenditure profile, in terms of our comfort profile, I would want to do something close to what you are doing. I would feel that